Let me start with something that might sound uncomfortable. Most webinar optimization advice is not wrong, it's just backwards. And this matters because backwards advice doesn't just fail to help you, it actively sends you in the wrong direction. It makes you fix the last thing first. I've reviewed hundreds of webinars, different industries, different price points, different personalities, and I can tell you very calmly, most people are optimizing the wrong layer. They're polishing something that hasn't been built yet. Here's what most people mean when they say, I want to optimize my webinar. They mean better slides, tighter transitions, more engagement, better storytelling, stronger pitch, cleaner design, more bonuses, better follow-up, and all sorts of other things. And none of that is stupid, but it's like repainting a house where the foundation is cracked. The paint looks great, but the house still sinks. And here's the frustrating part. Sometimes optimization does give you a small lift, which convinces you that you're on the right track, while the real problem stays untouched. That's why people say, I've optimized everything and it still doesn't convert. They are telling the truth. They optimized, just in reverse order. Let me give you an everyday example so this really clicks. Imagine someone says, my car keeps pulling to the left when I drive, and the mechanic replies, okay, let's upgrade your steering wheel. New leather, better grip. It looks amazing. You drive off, then the car still pulls left. So you come back. Now they say, all right, let's balance the tires. Slight improvement still, but it still pulls left. And then let's upgrade the suspension, let's realign the dashboard, let's install better headlights. At some point you stop and say, wait, why are we improving parts of the car without diagnosing why it's pulling left? And the answer might be simple, because the frame is bent, but nobody has checked. They just optimized visible parts. That's exactly what happened with webinars. Most people start optimizing at the presentation layer. Slides, delivery, energy, hooks, engagement, and so on. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If the decision structure of the webinar is broken, no amount of presentation polish will fix it. You can be charismatic, clear, entertaining, and people still won't buy. Not because they don't like you or didn't like you in the first place. Not because they didn't understand the thing you just said, but because the webinar never moved them closer to a safe decision. Optimization doesn't create conviction. It amplifies what's already there. And if the structure doesn't resolve doubt, optimization just makes the doubt clearer. Let me make this clear for you. Here's a scenario I see all the time. Two people run webinars to the same audience, same traffic, same offer, same price. Person A obsessively optimizes slides. Person B barely touches the design. Person A converts around 6%, person B converts, let's say, 22%. And person A says, they must be better on camera. They must be more confident. They must have better bonuses. Person B simply answered the right questions in the right order. That's it. No tricks, no hype, no hacks, just sequence. So let me give you the invisible layer that most people ignore due to the fact that it's kind of invisible, right? So nobody optimizes this first, and that's the decision readiness layer. Not attention, not engagement, and definitely not excitement. Readiness. Yeah, every buyer is silently asking, is this actually for me? Will this work in my situation? What could go wrong? What happens if it doesn't fit? Am I making a mistake? Most webinars never systematically answer those questions. They teach, they inspire, they motivate, but they don't stabilize the decision. So when the pitch comes, the brain says, sounds good, but I'm not sure. And not sure always defaults to no. Optimization feels productive because it's measurable. You can A/B test your slides, tweak hooks, change headlines, and adjust timing. Diagnosis is uncomfortable because it forces you to admit, I might be solving the wrong problem. That's why most advice in this space starts with tactics, not structure, not psychology, not sequencing, but the order matters. You don't optimize the message before you understand what the message needs to do. So here's the core lesson that I want you to sit with. Optimization only works after alignment. Alignment between the promise, the audience's real fear, the decision they're being asked to make. If those aren't aligned, optimization is just noise reduction on a broken signal. That's why people can watch your webinar, enjoy it, complement it, stay until the end, and still not buy or never buy even. The webinar functioned as content, not as a decision system. Write it down. Why this matters going forward? Well, once you understand this, everything changes. You stop asking, how do I make this more engaging? And start asking yourself, what decision is this section meant to resolve? You stop chasing tactics and you start reviewing structure. You stop copying best practices, you start diagnosing failure points. And most importantly, you stop blaming traffic, which is, yeah, let's just admit, we all did. In the next video, we're going to talk about why value-packed webinars often convert worse than simple ones. And once you see that, you will never structure a webinar the same way again. If you want to see that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If your webinar isn't converting, don't optimize it yet. I would say first ask yourself the following question. What sort of decision is this webinar actually helping someone make? Most people can't answer that, and that's the real problem.